When people think of the most fearsome predators of the Mesozoic era, giants like Tyrannosaurus rex and Spinosaurus often dominate the conversation. And thanks to movies like Jurassic Park and Jaws, our imaginations are filled with larger-than-life versions of creatures we already fear. But what if one of history's most terrifying hunters wasn't a dinosaur, or even a shark? Crocodilians have been perfecting the art of predation for over 200 million years. They've survived mass extinctions that wiped out the dinosaurs, evolving into some of the most efficient and deadly predators of all time. And unlike the megalodon, they're still here today. But today's story isn't about the crocodiles we know. It's about a prehistoric monster that once lurked in the rivers and coastal waters of ancient Earth. This massive predator dwarfed even the largest crocodiles of today, reaching lengths of 10 to 12 meters, roughly the size of a school bus, and tipping the scales at a staggering 8 tons. Its immense size and power made it one of the dominant predators of its time. Meet Deinosuchus, the terrible crocodile. A predator so fearsome, even the dinosaurs had reason to fear the water. Deinosuchus was no ordinary crocodilian. Towering over modern relatives, this prehistoric predator was one of the largest and most powerful reptiles to ever exist, capable of preying on even the mighty dinosaurs. Though it wasn't a dinosaur itself, Deinosuchus belonged to the Alligatoridea family, making it more closely related to today's alligators than crocodiles. First discovered in the early 20th century, its true scale wasn't fully understood until the mid-1900s, when paleontologists uncovered fossils that revealed a predator of staggering proportions. Its range stretched across what is now North America, with fossils found from Montana and Wyoming to Texas and even New Jersey, where it thrived during the late Cretaceous period, roughly 82 to 73 million years ago, in a warmer, wetter world dominated by the western interior seaway. These fossils tell a story of sheer power. The skull of Deinosuchus measured over 1.5 meters, 5 feet in length, heavily reinforced to withstand brutal battles with prey. Its jaws housed teeth up to 20 centimeters, 8 inches long, thick conical weapons designed to crush bone. With a body built for ambush and jaws capable of splintering the bones of dinosaurs, Deinosuchus was an apex predator in every sense of the word. Deinosuchus, much like its modern relatives, was likely an ambush predator, striking with devastating speed and power from the edge of the water. Herbivorous dinosaurs, such as hadrosaurs, would have been especially vulnerable when venturing near rivers or swamps to drink, as evidenced by markings on hadrosaur fossils that align perfectly with Deinosuchus' teeth. With jaws rivaling the bite force of Tyrannosaurus rex, Deinosuchus could deliver a bone-crushing attack that left no chance of escape. Evidence of its fearsome feeding habits is etched into fossilized turtle shells and dinosaur bones, bearing marks of its ability to pulverize bone. This unique advantage allowed Deinosuchus to access nutrient-rich marrow that other predators couldn't reach. But its diet wasn't limited to land-dwelling dinosaurs. This apex predator thrived on variety. Fossil evidence reveals it also hunted large fish, turtles, and potentially smaller marine reptiles, dominating its aquatic habitat. Unlike modern crocodilians, which often swallow prey whole, Deinosuchus may have employed more specialized techniques for handling larger prey. One possibility is the infamous death roll, a maneuver used by today's crocodiles to twist and tear chunks of flesh from larger animals. This technique would have enabled Deinosuchus to dismember prey far beyond the size limits of modern crocodilians, cementing its status as one of the most formidable predators of its time. However, it wasn't the only choice for a crocodilian jaws. Let's take a look at some of the close relatives that could compete with the Deinosuchus. And please consider subscribing if you're enjoying this video. We'd love to have you join our journey. Our closest competitor was an even more formidable beast, Purosaurus. Living millions of years after Deinosuchus, during the Miocene about 8 million years ago, Purosaurus reached lengths of up to 12.5 meters or 41 feet and weighed around 10 tons. This massive size gave it a clear advantage, surpassing Deinosuchus in sheer bulk and power. With its enormous frame, Purosaurus could overpower larger prey, and firmly establish itself as the apex predator in its ecosystem. The Miocene was a time of great change. It saw the rise of modern mammals and marked a key moment in the evolution of life on Earth. While Deinosuchus lived during the age of dinosaurs, Purosaurus thrived in a world increasingly dominated by mammals, including the giant round sloths and early relatives of hippos. This shift in prey would have required an adaptable and strategic predator, and Purosaurus was just that. But size alone wasn't its greatest strength. Purosaurus took bite power to an entirely new level. With an estimated bite force of 69,000 newtons, compared to Deinosuchus's 50,000 newtons, its jaws were more than capable of crushing even the toughest prey. Coupled with a broader snout, Purosaurus could tackle larger terrestrial mammals, like the giant round sloths and early relatives of hippos that roamed prehistoric South America. This broad snout also suggests it was highly effective at snapping shut on prey with tremendous speed, taking advantage of its ambush strategy. Much like Deinosuchus, Purosaurus likely relied on ambush tactics, lurking in rivers and waiting for unsuspecting prey to come close. But it lived in an era teeming with larger mammals, and this may have shaped its hunting style. Instead of primarily going after smaller, more vulnerable creatures, Purosaurus could take down mammals that were closer to the size of modern-day large animals. With the Miocene offering a variety of terrestrial mammals, including large herbivores and carnivores, Purosaurus would have had a diverse hunting menu, from giant sloths to even early relatives of hippos. This prehistoric predator would have faced competition from other large carnivores in its ecosystem, but none could match its combination of size, power, and jaw strength. As mammals began to dominate the landscape, Purosaurus stood at the top of the food chain, a force of nature perfectly adapted to its world. And against prey of that size, Purosaurus was truly unstoppable. Nothing would have stood a chance. And our options don't stop there. Looking back further in time rather than closer, we find an animal so formidable it's known as the super croc. Sarcosuchus roamed the Earth around 112 million years ago, during the early Cretaceous period. The earlier evolutionary stage of Sarcosuchus meant that it had a slightly different body structure from the bulkier crocs mentioned earlier. It was similar in size to the others, around 12 meters and 8 to 10 tons, but it had a more streamlined body and relatively short limbs compared to the later, more robust forms like Deinosuchus or Purosaurus. This ancient predator wasn't just an ambush hunter. With its long, muscular tail, Sarcosuchus could likely swim at impressive speeds, stalking prey through the murky waters of ancient Africa's rivers and lakes. It wasn't just lurking, it was actively hunting, a true predator of the depths. While its bite force was slightly weaker than that of its larger relatives, around 40,000 newtons, it was still powerful enough to crush almost anything unlucky enough to cross its path. But it's Sarcosuchus's teeth that set it apart. Unlike the crushing, slashing teeth of its larger cousins, Sarcosuchus had conical, pointed teeth, perfect for grabbing and holding onto slippery fish rather than tearing through thick flesh. This suggests it may have specialized in hunting fish and smaller aquatic prey, avoiding competition with the larger terrestrial predators of its time. The abundant fish species like Caturus and Ichthyodectes, some growing to massive sizes, would have been a high-calorie meal that allowed Sarcosuchus to thrive without facing the risks of battling the larger land-based predators. Sound familiar? It seems Sarcosuchus may have been closer to Jaws than we realize. Let us know in the comments which croc you think deserves to be the reptilian version of Jaws. And like and subscribe to follow us for more. Thanks for watching. See you next time.